It was supposed to be a peaceful weekend getaway, just a young couple hiking the scenic trails of Red Rock Canyon, a place known for its red cliffs, quiet beauty, and endless desert skies. Sam and Lisa had been dating for over a year and loved the outdoors. Friends said they were excited to spend a few days off-grid, reconnecting with nature and each other. But after they set off on the trail that Friday morning, no one ever saw them again. Their car was found parked neatly at the trailhead, backpacks gone, but no sign of struggle. Rangers combed the canyon for days. Helicopters scanned every crevice, and search dogs were brought in. Still nothing. It was like they vanished into thin air. Rumors filled the silence. Some believed the couple got lost and succumbed to the brutal heat. Others whispered about hidden caves, strange desert figures, and things that didn't want to be found. As the years passed, their case became one of the park's most haunting unsolved mysteries. No evidence. No bodies. Just two people who walked into the desert and never came back. That is, until 4 years later, when a morning jogger on a rarely used trail stumbled upon something half buried in the sand. What she saw sent her running back to town in a panic. Authorities were called, and the discovery reopened a cold case that many had already buried. But what they uncovered in that canyon was more than just a clue, was a question no one was ready to answer. The jogger, a local school teacher named Rachel Bennett, had run that trail dozens of times. But that morning, something felt off. The wind was still, the birds were quiet, and the air carried an odd-smelled rye, but not dusty. She nearly tripped over what looked like a smooth, round stone poking out from the sand, but when she brushed it with her foot, it shifted. Curious, she knelt down. That's when she saw it wasn't a rock at all, it was a lens. A cracked camera. Lens still attached to a half-buried DSLR. Authorities arrived quickly. And within hours, a full investigation team was back in the canyon. That section of the park had been closed during the initial search years ago due to unstable cliffs, and it had remained off-limits to hikers ever since. But now, with new evidence in hand, they reopened the case file marked Samuel Torres and Lisa Grady Red Rock Canyon disappearance. Friends of the couple came forward again, sharing memories and messages. Lisa had posted a photo the morning of the hike, smiling with Sam in front of a towering red cliff. She captioned it, *1. Last adventure before the heat hits. That photo was the last anyone saw of them. Now, with the camera recovered, investigators hoped they might finally have answers. But when they reviewed the memory card, what they found only deepened the mystery and revealed that Sam and Lisa might have seen something in those canyons that was never meant to be captured. Investigators pulled the photos from the camera's memory card, hoping to trace the couple's final steps. At first, everything seemed normal: selfies, sweeping canyon views, even a short video of Sam laughing as Lisa tried to swat away a curious desert fly. But then the images changed. The last 6 shots were taken rapidly, all in the same area, deep within a narrow rock pass known locally as the Wedge. Locals always warned hikers to avoid it after storms, claiming it was unstable. But one photo stood out: a blurry figure in the distance, half hidden behind a jagged outcrop. It wasn't either of them. Whoever or whatever it was didn't belong in the photo. Rangers reopened the area cautiously, retracing the couple's likely path. Nearby, they found a scarf matching one Lisa had been wearing in a previous post, tangled in a thorn bush. Forensics confirmed it had been there for years. That discovery, combined with the camera, sparked media interest again. Reporters flooded the town, digging into the couple's past and questioning whether foul play had ever been fully ruled out. A new theory emerged: had Sam and Lisa stumbled onto something illegal in the canyon? Old mining routes ran beneath Red Rock, some used in the Prohibition era. Rumors of secret tunnels and hidden camps started circulating again. One retired ranger came forward, saying he remembered hearing strange echoes in the wedge years ago, but was told to leave it alone. Now, with the couple's case reopened, that silence couldn't hold much longer. As search teams pushed deeper into the wedge, the air grew tighter, almost claustrophobic. The narrow red walls seemed to close in with every step. It was late afternoon, when one of the rangers spotted something unusual wedged behind a pile of collapsed, rock-rusted metal box. Half crushed, but still intact. Inside were two IDs, weather-damaged but readable: Sam Torres and Lisa Grady. Nearby, second camera was found, but the memory card had been removed. This discovery turned the case on its head. Why would they have a second camera? And who had taken the memory card? Detectives began to suspect that someone had been in that canyon more recently than anyone expected. Fresh footprints were found near the site, too recent to belong to the missing couple. Even more unsettling, one of the rangers swore he saw movement in the rocks above them, like someone was watching. Drones were deployed, but the signal cut out as they neared the center of the pass. Equipment failures became frequent. Radios died. Compass needles spun aimlessly. And every time the team tried to mark a spot, the markers disappeared overnight. Meanwhile, Lisa's sister Angela received a message from an unknown number. It contained just one sentence. Asterisk, they shouldn't have followed the sound. Confused. And shaken, she brought it to the authorities, who traced it to an unregistered burner phone last pinged near Red Rock Canyon just 2 days prior. The warning came too late. Something was waiting in that canyon, and it didn't want to be found. Just 2 days after the strange message to Angela, another hiker went missing. A local man named Eric Vance, known for running desert survival tours, failed to return from an overnight solo trek through Red Rock Canyon. He was last seen entering the wedge, claiming he wanted to retrace Sam and Lisa's final steps for a video project. His gear was found at the base of a dry wash, neatly packed. But Eric himself had vanished without a trace. That made 3 people connected to the canyon disappearance who had now gone missing. Search teams began to question if they were looking at something more than a tragic accident. A park geologist brought up a chilling theory that a series of uncharted sinkholes and natural vents could be running beneath the canyon floor, forming what he called silent caverns, deep, narrow shafts hidden by dust and loose rock. But those caverns didn't explain the figure in the photo, or the message to Angela, or why all the missing seemed to have crossed one specific stretch of the canyon. As tension escalated, authorities quietly restricted public access to that zone, citing environmental instability, but locals weren't buying it. Whispers spread of strange sounds heard echoing at night low, rhythmic pulses like distant machinery. One elderly hiker even claimed he heard a woman calling out for help from within the rocks. No one could explain it. All anyone knew was this: Red Rock Canyon was no longer just a hiking spot. It was holding something in, and whatever it was, didn't want to stay hidden. A specialized rescue team was finally brought in equipped with thermal drones, seismic sensors, and underground listening gear. Within hours, the equipment picked up something strange beneath the canyon floor. Movement, faint, steady, and rhythmic, like someone or something was walking in a slow, looping pattern deep underground. The readings came from a narrow rock split only a few feet wide, nearly invisible to the eye. It led down into darkness. Ropes were dropped, and 2 team members descended into the shaft. At 80 feet, they found a hollowed-out chamber, natural but widened by human hands. Inside were weathered supplies, water bottles, a broken camp stove, faded clothes, and a tattered journal. It was Lisa's. Pages were filled with scattered, desperate notes. She wrote about a storm that hit fast, a fall Sam took, and strange noises echoing at night, sounds that seemed to come from within the canyon walls. Her last entry read, "Asterisk, we're not alone down here." Something moves when we sleep, but the most shocking discovery was what they found sealed in a crevice near the back of the chamber: Sam's body, partially preserved by the dry air. He died from injuries sustained in the fall. Lisa, however, was never found, just as rescuers prepared to leave. One of the seismic monitors spiked. A voice, faint, cracked, and echoing, came through the underground mic. It repeated 3 chilling words over and over. Asterisk, don't follow me. Then silence. To this day, Lisa's remains were never recovered. But hikers still report hearing footsteps in the wedge long after sundown. After the discovery, Red Rock Canyon was permanently closed off in several key areas, including the wedge. Officials cited safety concerns, but locals knew better. News outlets ran headlines for days: asterisk, missing hikers found after 4 years. Journal reveals final days in canyon, an underground mystery in Red Rock. Sam Torres was given a quiet funeral, his family finally able to lay him to rest. But the absence of Lisa Grady left a deeper ache, a lingering question no one could answer. Angela held on to her sister's journal, reading it over and over. She took comfort in Lisa's bravery, her will to survive, her love for Sam, and her fight to find a way out. There were pages torn out, mentions of paths underground, and what Lisa described as shifting echoes, as if the canyon itself were alive. Whether it was disorientation, fear, or something more, we may never fully understand what they encountered.